Well, we have one of the biggest bullshits. Well, again. Because this one will probably change a lot of people's lives because most people are seeking pleasure. But if you have the capacity to do something better, there is something better, which is seeking satisfaction. Now, I understand. This should sound very familiar to facts over feelings ideology. Alright? If you break it down, what it is. But honestly, it hits so hard. It is its own thing. And, yeah, because pleasure is more of a feelings thing, and you can replace it with satisfaction, which is, which is facts. How is it facts? How are these words different? Let's dive in. Let's break it down. Again, seeking... people seek pleasure kind of on their own terms. Alright, they seek experience, whatever they like in life. They do it on their own terms. They don't want to be controlled, or even helped. They just do whatever they like, or whatever they're capable of doing, in case they are, well, enslaved. Sometimes people just get stuck in seeking pleasure forever and don't think otherwise. But if you can think otherwise, if you clicked on this video expecting education, congratulations, you will level up a little bit. Because we have to connect a little bit if we want to update each other's software. I need help too, alright? I'm not seeking pleasure. I'm seeking to improve my life. It's gonna be a much happier life, much better quality life. I'll take that one over pleasure anytime. Because there's hidden pleasure technically in having a satisfying life, but satisfaction is not equal to pleasure. Alright, as I've said, well, feelings are kind of like the building block of facts, but facts are technically not feelings. The facts are like very peculiar structures made out of feelings, but it's its own thing, just like forest is no longer a goddamn tree, okay? It's a collection of trees, an ecosystem of some kind, where the balance is maintained technically, and it is quite a question. It is quite a puzzle how spread out the trees have to be for the forest not to be a forest and for it to just be singular trees. But you kind of get the you get the idea when that happens, when the trees are close enough together and it's a big enough cluster and it's a forest. Cool. It's worth saying that it's a forest. Probably you wouldn't actually look at how it's spread out. You would look, is it worth like collecting wood? You know, is it fast enough collecting wood or something like that? There's some other criteria you would look into. For me, when it comes to detecting what is a fact, it's quite simple. Alright, and maybe it's worth actually writing down. But this time, we're gonna write out differently. We're gonna write out a 10. Because every single argument is gonna be expanded. Because that's a lot cooler. And we have to hurry up. Okay. 6 minutes. Oh shit. So, a fact is collection of feelings, but simply, it's something I could say objective, but it's something people can understand. That's the kind of the objective nature of a fact. Facts are grounded in the idea that people can actually understand something. Just like I told a story previous video, of seeing a shadow moving. It's like, oh, it's a person, and it moved exactly the right time when I looked at it. It's like, fantastic. I've heard stories like that before, and now I'm scared. Obviously nothing happened yet, but like, wow, now I'm gonna be definitely entertained every time I look through the peephole of my door. Jesus Christ. So, to tell a story, you have to kind of strip away feelings, right? No, you have to express yourself. Alright, of what you have seen, how does it relate to your life? All these little things that feel important, but then you kind of objectify it to make other people fully understand what are you talking about and what it means to you, basically. And that is probably the greatest connection you can actually establish with the audience. It's pretty satisfying, as you can tell. Not pleasure. You know, you kind of take the good with the bad, but you don't really feel the bad. Alright. You can use both, technically. You know, the bad that is a terrible story. Normally people would just be like, oh, let's just forget about that and move on with our life. And I'm traumatized, but we don't have to talk about it. That's what most people's lives are, and it's kind of pathetic. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna expand to like, 90, alright? 90. But it's gonna be ugly in a way, you know? You can tell. I could do something very, very smart, but it still would be stupid. Like, I could do 1, 2, 3, but still be able to expand, but this is so stupid. Then it's even more confusing when I start expanding. So this is fine. I've never done this before, as I've said. But I've done this. The ending, where I kind of just expand from the 7. Anyways. Most people just want to forget the bad and only experience the good. Neither of these things are actually gonna enrich your life. Alright? Being forgetful and seeking experience, that's not gonna stick around. Alright? This has no value or permanence in your life. You're still basically a random creature. You can turn into a monster anytime. Anyone can program you to become a monster and do their bidding, basically. Go through the Oblivion Gates and start wrecking the nearest business. You know, setting things on fire, threatening people, just straight up becoming a criminal. It's an experience, and you will forget about it. How easy is that? That's how most people's brains are, and why you have to be very careful with people, because, oh, if they don't like you, they will beat you up or whatever. On the internet, it's so much more complicated than you're gonna get beaten up. Alright, it's still plenty of threats, but come on, man. While we still can't get away with it, we should not seek pleasure on the internet. Internet is way higher consciousness than real life. Real life is just pure fucking cancer to me. I don't want to go outside. There's nothing to do, no opportunities for me. Please leave me alone, basically, and don't send me shadow people, okay? Next to my door. I just don't want to... I don't want to deal with this shit. Alright? Doesn't look like an opportunity to me, is it? You know. But, technically, there's plenty of opportunities. You approach a person and say, should I punch you in the face or double it and give it to the next person? Except I cannot do that because I'm Lithuanian. It sounds probably very bad. Ar nori duosiu į snukį arba padvigubinsiu, ir kitam duosiu. It's dvigubinsiu, double. I like it. Double it. Anyways, it's not like I seek zero pleasure whatsoever. I might have some, pleasure-seeking stuff going on, but most of the stuff that I do feels to me more or less than pleasure-seeking and more like a very planned, very reasonable thing that I want to do, want to achieve in my life. And it's going to improve my life somehow. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. And a lot of people, including Andrew Tate, who want to be successful, kind of understand this ideology that seeking pleasure is just kind of basic nonsense. And you have to do what is just the most valuable thing, basically. So, I actually defined what satisfaction is versus pleasure in the sweet spot. This is where I started the whole journey of like, wait, what? Whoa! I started tripping, basically. And, let's read it. Brain doesn't seek pleasure. Yeah, you start thinking and it's like, oh, I don't want to risk. I don't want to play lottery tickets. It's kind of dumb. What are you doing, bro? I don't want to drink alcohol and get drunk and risk again and again. It's like, wow, experience. Now, so the first thing you might question is like, okay, so why the fuck do we need experience to begin with? Tough question. So, most of the time, like, life is very traumatizing. And you have to grab things in life. Alright. Seeking pleasure is a risk. But you can invest courage into it. I kind of don't have courage. I just feel like I don't have any resources. I was born poor. So for me, seeking experience, seeking pleasure is just kind of like unaffordable. It felt to me like I wasn't really born with any courage available for me. And very, very soon, I just recognized, well, it's probably best for me to move on to the satisfaction part. But I probably do miss that kind of part of life where I just seek pleasure and I don't really think about anything. But it's kind of like a baby life anyways. Because the baby has to figure out, and a child has to figure out what they like about life, or should they just run away from their parents and never really come back? But obviously you come back because you realize how terrible life actually is. And then just keep bouncing around randomly, doing random things, for self-pleasure usually. When you seek satisfaction, you're no longer completely selfish. This is why it requires so much courage to actually do all the things, to approach people. But at the same time, you have to be attractive, you have to be young, you're requesting a lot from people, and it's quite something. But people think that I'm actually courageous when I approach them online, on the internet. That is, couldn't be further from the truth, but it's like, I'll take that. I'll take that right now. That means I'm higher consciousness than other people. They just mistreat me completely. They're like, oh, I don't like the pleasure that you're seeking right now. That's how people kind of treat each other. They think I'm seeking pleasure like everyone else. Like when I to kind of do weird things on Discord servers, I have to be banned because all I'm doing is just trolling. And it's like, why are you having this weird misconception? Well, people have misconceptions because they never went outside of water, dude. Just peek your head outside water. That's also pleasure seeking, right? Have you never peeked outside water and figured there's more to life than pleasure all the time? Well, now you're doing it. You're doing it, guys. And send this video to anyone who needs a little bit of air in their life instead of just working for themselves all the time. Because that's the greatest thing about satisfaction and helping other people, being kind, you know. If you help other people, they might help you back. Wow. Wow, kindness. I wouldn't call it kindness. Kindness for me is a shit word thrown around. Something people want because it's pleasure to them to receive kindness, but not to deliver kindness because that shit is very difficult and complicated. But understanding that you have to trade with people, alright? Things that you have too much of, and things they want to give away. You just gotta trade. You gotta be aware, at least be aware, you know. So sometimes you trade random things just to open the floodgates. Alright? For the first time in forever, not only you are outside of water, but you kind of moving the water around where it has to go. Alright? Somewhere it has to go. Because now that you're familiar with water, you technically own some of it. And experience is always different. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever is your courage, your little circle of influence and well, what is it? What? Yeah, the comfort zone. So basically it's the experience that you own, and usually experience repeats itself because you ran out of courage. You just can't chase a new thing anymore. In fact, again, I just have to bring up my classmate meltdown. The moment I expressed an opinion, everyone just fucking ran scared. I asked a girl a few things, like what the most flirtatious thing. Give me the most flirtatious thing. She gives me a disgusting thing where, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you became a serial killer. Wow, okay, that's fantastic. There's pretty bad vibes all the way around, and you know, pleasure seeking can go really bad really fast. All right, killing people, very much pleasure to kill you. Fantastic. I mean, can we not? Can we not? Because if I turn into a monster, I don't think you can handle that shit. Alright? Because I would do it on my terms. I wouldn't do it because my heart feels like doing so. I would do it because I can rip you apart whenever I feel like it. Oh, no feelings, facts. Because you're weaker, you know. I detect that you're weaker. I detect not just your fear, but like your weaknesses. And the strategies that you use. You should be at least scared of that and just submit. Oh wait, probably these people just ran away already. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Submit to the gods, or you will be sacrificed. Not a joke, really. It's another thing that has to be done sometimes, but against ridiculously ultimate, super duper weak people, okay? There's not that many. It's like the opposite 1%. Such weak people that they don't really want to exist anymore, and there's nothing you can do about it. Alright? They would jump off a building if you just gave them the opportunity to do so. So they're just completely blind. Alright? And you cannot restore their blindness, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing more crippling than finding hopeless people. And most of the time when you bump into a pleasure seeker or just a normie in general, you feel like there's so much hopelessness within that person. You don't want to deal with that shit all of a sudden. But if you find any value within a normie, I'm like, I'll pursue that. I'll squeeze a little bit, you know. This is like lemon juice. It's not a lot. You need a lot of lemons to get lemon juice, but let's squeeze that and get the respect that I deserve. Basically, that's what respect is. And that's what happened. If a person doesn't naturally respect you back, you have the right to squeeze them for the respect that you deserve. Alright? The society will teach you those things, eventually. But right now I can give you the educational part. And it's so fucking satisfying. Not oddly satisfying, which is another way to pleasure yourself. Looking at weird things, basically. It's like, oh wow, oddly satisfying. Oddly satisfying is such a crippling terminology, I believe. Alright. Is the things that pleasure you, and you call it oddly satisfying because it's relaxing, but you don't understand why. If you don't understand what is the point, it is not satisfaction, it's just odd pleasures. It should be renamed. And it's very intrusive. I mean, for fuck's sake, bro. I think we can go with the 7. 7 is cool. We basically have 79. And we can extend a little bit extra. I think we're fine. Or we could, Nine-tailed fox. Honestly, summoning Nine-tailed fox is pretty cute as well. I like that a lot. Yeah. Oddly satisfying is a bad term being thrown around on low levels. Yeah. Okay, it's just like weird things that give you pleasure. Not satisfaction. It's not gonna satisfy your life. It's not gonna solve some kind of problem that you have, which is basically what satisfaction is. Alright. Technically, problem solving in disguise. Alright. And technically, because feelings make up facts, if you're building facts, you just transcend. You don't give a fuck about feelings anymore. Directly. But you still have to harvest feelings from everyone and everything. You will be kind of desperate and hungry for feelings. It's kind of annoying state of being, but you will appreciate everything too. You will go outside just to appreciate just the nature around you, alright? Every single thing all of a sudden matters, and the shadow people matter. So every single time I see something unusual, I feel something unusual, I have to write it down, I have to capture it. It's very, very valuable to me. And most importantly, obviously, the greatest feeling of all time is internet, the connected universe. Is like, I'll drain the shit out of this well and sell it in buckets, man. Fuck yeah, bro. I only have one bucket though, so I'm dummy. Dummy dum dum. I don't know, bro. Technically, seeking pleasure can save your ass, because the greatest pleasure is survival, is getting as much money as possible so you extend your lifespan to infinity. But your lifespan is 0 if you take plenty of risks, alright? Especially knowing that very likely our society is gonna be like, oh, the dollar is kinda shit, let's replace it with something that's not shit anymore. Alright, like ruble. No, it's just something that is not a fiat currency. Because I think we can do better. You know, that would be fucking fantastic. However, unfortunately, most of the time we cannot do better. Unfortunately, I am in a position of knowledge where I see too far to the future. That's the way I feel, man. Despite us seeing AI technologies that are completely unbelievable, alright? Just generates pictures, talks to you, gives you all the information you need, writes you code and songs and all that stuff. And it's ridiculously useful. I still cannot get my subtitles. What's up with that? Where's my subtitle AI? Oh, too difficult to get one? Also, AI is also gonna have a price tag on it, and maybe even like hidden prices that you have never thought about. AI could fucking just infiltrate your computer and start messing around. I mean, shit can go really fucking bad all of a sudden. And we don't see that. Alright? I see everything, man. Eventually. Alright? I see all the threats, all the risks. And to me, like, seeing risks is like, just cripples me so badly. So you have to, you know, take your friends and squeeze them fully and move on with your life. The moment you're moving on from the pleasure system to satisfaction system, your life is gonna start changing so significantly that, like, it is crazy. It is crazy. It is a crazy transition. Obviously, it should go naturally, you know, because people start moving on. Like, my friend gets a girlfriend, and it's like, now we're falling apart. Now I have to squeeze those relationships. However, that girlfriend, I liked her before they even met, which is like, well, was a fucking twisted world of people attracting each other in mysterious ways. Am I right? Like, I don't know, bro. Because she went to my school, and I was constantly bumping into her, and like, oh, she looks pretty cute. And then she became part of my life, like, because of my friend. It was kind of like a noble sacrifice, if that's how life works, basically. You know, he unsuspectedly was chasing experience that I kind of wanted to have, but he was able to actually grab it, and we didn't like coordinate anything. It just kind of just happened. I mean, that's the scariest thing about life, is just like, good things kind of will happen. They will not look good though, because everyone has to take their own share of life, and whatever you get, you gotta very much appreciate, because whatever you get is completely different what other people get, and you gotta learn how to trade as fast as possible. Alright, so the final tale, the transition happens the moment you learn how to trade. Well, I say squeeze and trade. So again, if someone doesn't actually give you what you want, but you definitely deserve it, definitely want it really badly, you can squeeze. Alright? Well, you can steal my fucking cards. Here's something that happened. I had a birthday coming up. Pretty much like the next day, I believe. And I was in my friend's house, in my classmate's house. We kind of decided, well, he's gonna give me his cards. He just had a bunch of cards laying around. He didn't actually need them, and I was very passionate about. I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I was very much into the card games and shit, and still am. I mean, nothing changed. It's such an experience for me, such an attachment to me. Because it means a lot. Card games definitely mean a lot. And this technically is also a card game, or eventually gonna be a card game, and also the buttons are clickable now. Don't be fooled, there's no animation, I'm just making them bigger and smaller, and that is it. But it's, well, very, very satisfying. Not pleasure, not odd satisfaction. I have solved a problem, of things looking boring and buttons look like they're just completely stale no matter what I do. They only changed colors, basically, when I clicked on them. So they feel completely dead, but now they're alive. Buttons is like... It's not always satisfying. I know exactly what's satisfying about it, alright? So technically, maybe oddly satisfying is not exactly the worst idea to be thrown around. I at least like the idea that the word satisfying is being thrown around, but it's completely different, as you can already tell. So, we got the basics done. Let's get deeper. I realized something very stupid. This is actually 10 tails, and we have to... We gotta get rid of this one. I'm sorry, guys. You have been buffooned. Which is, fantastic. I mean, we do have to, fill this thing in properly. But it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea. 1, 2. This is a 2, not 1. It's such trippy nonsense, but exactly. Exactly. So yeah, the most satisfying things are sometimes like doing math and but doing logical problem solving is the most satisfying thing. Actually, alright, math can become very dry and, again, detachment from reality eventually, because you're not solving anything eventually, you're just, looking for patterns, and then you're seeking pleasure again. So, in a way, you can actually drop down despite becoming something, which you can call mathematician, and yet you still drop down to pleasure seeking, where you're just seeking for patterns that are completely useless in real life applications. And it's really, really sad to see people just drop down immediately after they claim a title of some kind in their lives. Especially, when I will be able to outcompete them and point out a finger that whatever they're doing is potentially very useless or even harmful to society to create more scammers, more people who are useless to society. It's just, I don't like that. There's so many jobs like that right now. People don't actually understand. We don't have problem with jobs. We have problem with uselessness of the jobs. Alright? A huge problem is how useless the jobs are, not the level of employment. Because technically, you still have to do the same thing as if there is no minimum wage. You're just striving to get to that minimum wage where you actually start to get paid. I'm still not getting paid from YouTube, alright? And there's technically no minimum wage on YouTube, so fantastic, but god damn it, bro. Yeah. Very big problem, and it would start solving other problems if we weren't so fucking useless and we only cared about pleasure, about receiving money and doing a job that technically doesn't do anything, but it just exists. So you get a job, you get some authority sometimes, act as a doctor, but not really help people whatsoever. Oh, take those pills. Oh, here's the diagnosis. Here's some x-ray that's gonna irradiate you, and I'm gonna see and like, oh, not much I can do about that. Are they gonna tinker with your body and none of it works? Or like, oh, there's a tumor, but I can only remove it, and you would have to cut off your arm, Technoblade. I mean, for fuck's sake, bro. For fuck's sakeys. More? You want more? Science is pretty terrible, as you may know. Being a social justice warrior doesn't pay very much, but it does pay, alright? To the leaders of social justice warriors, whoever is generating all this nonsense. It does pay a little bit, but I call them rainbow Nazis, alright? So, because they're defending a lot of minorities that have seemingly like no influence to the world whatsoever. They're just like, there was never a time when a trans person was transcending beyond just sex, alright? So it's just a porn category for me, which also looks ugly and not attractive whatsoever, alright? Is that what they wanted? Another weird porn category all of a sudden? Oh, trans. Oh, black people. Another porn category. Lesbians. We have invented that porn category before, but we can add it to the list of the rainbow people. I mean, oh wow! That is the influence that you're gonna have on the internet, is just point at porn? Point a finger at porn and it's like, I'm a social justice warrior. Look, I found porn on the internet. Dude, 50% of the internet is porn. Potentially everything is porn. You just don't know it yet. Maybe I'm having sex right now with your brain. I don't know, bro. It is scary out there. What if everything is porn? I mean, so you have these toxic communities, then you have the Giga Chats and the gamers, the very well known now 4 toxic communities. So gamers, definitely fucking useless. Most influencers are out there gaming or doing some fucking bullshit entertainment shit. It's garbage. Alright? We have invented influencers, but we haven't invented influencing. We don't know what that is. Alright? And for me, that's what the most concerning part is. Because this is the community that I want to feed. You know. We have influencers. No need to highlight that. But we haven't invented proper influencing. Yes, I mean, fantastic, right? But I'm seeking for who has the best values out there. There's plenty of YouTube channels. Right now in my head, just the idea that Grade A is a crazy, timeless YouTube channel that is actually trying to educate to some extent about just small things that are inconvenient to our lives. And it's still very, very satisfying. And still not oddly satisfying. It's like straight up is trying to solve a problem. Very cool. Potentially oddly satisfying things are like, well, no, when I try to look back and like oddly satisfying, there's nothing satisfying about it. Alright? Because it's kind of like porn. Porn that you didn't want it to see in the first place. Just unusual things that just don't make any sense. You know what? What is often called oddly satisfying? Kind of like stealing and all these little things you can get away with in society. You can get away with in society, but you will have to like apologize and come back when you get caught. So it's like oddly satisfying to steal something and get away with it. It's like, oh, for some reason I like doing bad things. Wow. There's still a reason for that, but it's because it's not solving any problems. It's just again another word for pleasure. Oh wow. No, pleasure to steal from you. Now I have a thingy and I can have it for free, please? No, you can't. Else you're gonna get smashed and put into a slammer for a little bit. But that's fine. Anyways, let me put it where it belongs. It is so annoying. A lot of people would likely call stealing as OS, whatever. Ah, man, this is really good stuff. Every time I'm making the bullshit video, is satisfaction overload. And again, it's just simply better feeling than pleasure. Pleasure is something that people are seeking, and it's so temporary. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's a baby game. It's a children's game to seek for pleasure. And everyone's insulting each other the moment they're like intruding into each other's territory. I'm intruding because I want respect. I want to shake your hand. And everyone's just running away. It's like, what are you trying to do? You approached? You're supposed to be 5 meters apart. It's COVID forever, dude. COVID forever. You're not supposed to shake my hand. You're not supposed to respect me. I will cry. I don't want to cry. It's stupid. It's not pleasure for me. This is how people feel. People feel like they have no ability to actually feel different feelings that make them uncomfortable. Like, it's unbelievable, bro. It's hard to see how uncomfortable people can get on the internet. Especially when all you're trying to do is just shake someone's hand. It's like, hey, how's life? What is the best thing about life? What can you give me? I'll give you something back too. Oh, you're just trying to get things from me. What a loser. What? Excuse me, bro? Do you make card game videos? Are you trying to do something whatsoever on the internet, or are you just being a baby? Because I don't want to make you cry. Here's some candy for you. So brain doesn't seek pleasure. All right. It's not natural for thinkers to be like, oh, pleasure. Sometimes, well, you get into the pattern of just thinking for pleasure, but you're still dealing with addictions and not your brain. Your brain is just satisfying the things that you feel you need to do, but it actually is just an addiction in the end. brain doesn't want to do it. You ask brain, it's like, you have been doing this forever now. Can you do something different? I'm kind of getting bored over here. All right, just do something different. And it's like, but it's outside my comfort zone. There's nothing I can possibly do. And when you realize how pathetic most people's lives are, that we have tried ourselves off opportunity, but then it's like we're saved at the same time. We're like realizing, but there's internet. We could have a conversation, but we can't. We cannot. Unfortunately. Have you tried the word ignorance before? Alright? If you have tried to have a conversation, this probably can be just summarized as HAC, man. Hack. Have you tried a hack? Not that hack. This hack. Quack. The quack hack. Have you tried HC, man? The hack? Have you tried to have a hack? I mean, it's fantastic. Have you tried to have a conversation? People are just gonna ignore you. And you're gonna be heartbroken and everyone's just gonna move on. It's like, well, this breaks my heart, so I will stop doing that. Alright? This just breaks me. And it's like, okay. So, if you never step out of water, if you never touch grass, unfortunately, you're gonna be left out of a lot of valuable things, especially when this new generation of influencers are gonna have conversations, not with each other, okay? Popular kids, fine talking to each other, it's like, it's easy to them, alright? Popular kids actually know how to pick up skills and they have plenty of time to do so, so don't look up to them, because most normies can't do shit, alright? They can't do effing shit, because they're just slaving away their life most of the time, just to scrape by, and anytime they have some free time, they spend it for pleasure, not to solve problems in their life, to actually enrich themselves and start being able to trade and eventually learn how to build a business. Nah, bro. Nah. What actually has to happen... See, Andrew Tate is not a business person, he's a scammer. It's two different things. He never really transcended into building a business that's supposed to help people, all sorts of people, make trades so easy that it's like he just owns a certain trade market of some kind. Andrew Tate is just a person who wants to satisfy himself, so he will recognize a pattern of that I can squeeze a person for the respect and eventually like get rich off of that. So that's what scammers do. They do go into the realm of satisfaction. They are smart enough to do so, congratulations, but they can still become toxic eventually. As long as I'm being honest, I know that I'm never gonna be a scammer, so it's quite an interesting thing to actually acknowledge, I would say. As long as you're honest on what you're doing, you're not scamming anyone. Alright? And if people feel like I have deceived them in some way, like, I explain every single move I make. It's pretty fucking obvious. And before I make some crazy moves, there's one person I have to ping. 6 days left. There you go. Just so you know that I remember. And it's probably the scariest shit ever for that person. And for you guys, it's like, what kind of horror film are you filming? That's my life, guys. Alright, it is my life. My life is a fucking horror film. I mean, I'm probably gonna see some more shadow people very soon. Fantastic. But, yeah. Cause, yeah, it tripped me over, the experience that I explained on the previous video. It just trips me. Because it changes reality. People are in fact attracted to feelings, and we kind of have this psychic abilities. Like, you can't treat the world the same way anymore. You have to seek for those psychic powers, right? It's the most valuable thing if you can actually do things from a distance. But for me, you know, like, I don't know. I see people's lives and I feel like I'm connected just by observing them in a way. And it doesn't bother me. And if the... All you need to do, honestly, as an influencer, truly, alright? As an influencer, all you need to do is allow people to reach you. Yes, call-in shows are kind of cool, but you must spread that principle as far and wide as possible, so you allow certain people certain type of criteria where people can reach you. No one really has that on the influencer world, but because we haven't invented proper influencing. And that's gonna be the next generation of people, myself included, who's gonna lead the whole fucking movement. And it is a ridiculous responsibility that I found. I will get so tremendously rewarded for this. I'll make so many friends and so many great relationships. I can, if I'm successful, obviously. And I'll move on with my life very soon. It's gonna be one of the saddest moments. It's like a lot of people just gonna move on and retire, and it's gonna be so sad. I can already feel it, man. Cause I can only lead for so long because I'm just way above the curve, you know. I'm a shadow person. I can be a leader, but I can only give you guys the scoop. And I cannot stay for too long. For so many reasons. And it's so sad, but it's the reality that we live in. You know, I can only reveal the truth. But once the truth is revealed, it will kind of have a life of its own, and people will have to figure out on their own how far it really gone. Alright? Basically, once my channel has a life of its own, I'll have to retire. I'll just have to let it go, basically. Slowly and surely. It's a transition, it's not a cut-off thing. But, it is one of the most emotional things I know deep down that's gonna happen. Once the next generation of influencers hit, most of us will retire very quickly. In very sad transition. The goddamn edit on the 9, really? Well, I have to make it personal. I will retire alongside a lot of powerful people, but still doesn't work. For fuck's sake, I want satisfaction, bro. Get the fuck out of here, edited bullshit. Jen? There you go. Just shorten generation because it's stupid. Alright. Fantastic. We have finished the first tale. I don't know if that's worth anything, but that's a chapter. It's the first time I did it anyways. Yeah, I'm a very happy person. I want to share happiness with people I know they need it. But I cannot do it until they decide that I am I'm a trusted source for happiness. And I know for the first few people it's gonna be a tremendous overload of feelings, basically that they can't really control and appreciate fully. They will have to share those feelings with other people too. But the time is running out. You can't just fucking ignore me continuously. I'll get more and more powerful, and if a lot of people ignore me, there will be wars. There will be fucking terrible things happening. The clock is ticking and it just hurts me every second that I get ignored. But, luckily enough for you guys, we're steadily rising in, influence, which is what is supposed to happen. It is very simple. And I will extend my reach. I will learn more things. There's things that society has to teach you before I get connected fully to the core of society. I have to slowly drill my way into the center, to the core, on my own, basically, on my own terms. Because usually, if I get connected to someone, I will try and ask for help and directions and all that stuff. And it's a very draining experience, I would understand. So, this stuff is, ridiculously personal, too. The whole transition from pleasure to satisfaction, and how many people have to just do the switch is quite fascinating. It's beyond your comprehension, my friends. It's hard to believe how the world will change after the switch happens. It's probably one of the biggest transitions ever in our lifetimes. Because it's one thing to invent YouTube, it's another thing to be able to use it properly, which is crazy. It's one thing to make a card game, another thing to actually make it playable. Wow! Because a lot of people are addicted into the card game and they seek pleasures, but there's nothing to find, unfortunately. You just get attached to different things, and again, it's so temporary that you wake up the other day and it's like, oh, I hate card games. That can happen very easily. But then you realize I'm addicted and there's so much value that I've gathered. And then you start realizing that is the satisfying part, that you have nostalgic feelings of things. Now you look a little bit differently to the past. So again, this transition can happen just in a snap. You started your satisfying downfall into satisfaction and away from those goddamn pleasure nonsense, temporary things that you can't really stack either. Alright, so you can only fill the cup until it's full, and then it just starts overflowing, and you realize that, and it's like it just breaks you. It's like, okay, I need more cups, right? But you cannot just extend your heart to infinity. It's just impossible. It's just like attempting to rule over the entirety of YouTube by reaching every single influencer. It's definitely impossible, but you can definitely identify communities and reach out to the highest representation of those communities that you can possibly muster. And for me, that's the way that I, identify as powerful. Very powerful because not only I pretty much like define communities, I'm probably the leader in most communities and my self-representation, I don't even need representation from them. I can just summon it for myself. Because I am. It just breaks my brain, dude. But I have to move forward with all this baggage. It's fucking baggage now. Because people will hate me and they will not allow me to pass through easily. Well, that's the fun of it, man. And that's the fun of being a shadow person. You keep on solving problems and still running out of time and not getting paid for doing so. Nothing works. Nothing makes sense as a shadow person. I'm sorry, dude. In the shadows, you solve problems and still can't actually survive. Alright. Technically, a problem of getting money is a very easy way to survive, right? Oh wait, then you have to sacrifice other things at the same time. Unless you somehow break through and become popular and rich, and you have all these things, but then you're a popular kid, you're on a different plane of existence entirely. So, it is weird. If you're truly in the shadows, you are a honest person. You're not willing to be a scammer in a heartbeat. You're not here in the satisfaction realm just to rip people off and manipulate them just because you're better than them. That's not what shadow people are doing, which is why I'm stuck in just this survival situation where it's just so difficult. Any investment, any help would really benefit me and anyone else who actually decides to do that. And it's like, why is it not happening naturally? And it's like, wow. But it's because people seek pleasures and they don't it's not pleasurable to know things like that, that you can trade and be successful. That's not pleasure. That's lame. Bro, I gotta get drunk now and forget about everything that I just watched, man. So please do that. I'll give you guys the get drunk as soon as possible chapter. I can give you guys that. It's very important. That's the Giga Chat away, man. Get drunk, get yourself numb, and then you can plow through the world and do everything you want. Except all you want to do is grab a fish in the water, which is called a slut. Not a girl, just a slut. And hold her for as long as possible, which is usually less than a week. And then you just have to move on. The ways of the Giga Chads, man. The mysterious ways. Oh my god. So, again, yeah, you might want to send this video to a lot of people who might need to make that epic transition from addictions and absolute nonsense into actually starting to educate themselves properly. Alright? Because there's a lot of sources of education. You can't just be like scrolling TikTok and pretending that's my education. You kind of just reminisce school and be like, well, I got traumatized of what education is, so that must be education. School experience. Oh, everything's education. As I've said, when you are in the realm of satisfaction, everything matters. Every single move matters. I have to fucking double check my mom before she farts for walking too much. Maybe I will learn something. Let me poke around, I have to appreciate the life around me. I mean, I just realized how irrational people are. But you often realize that. Over and over again. The hypocrisy just fucking flashes through your eyes like, whoa! Whoa! There's this guy who's like a military dude on the server, right? The last resort. He's offline so you don't get to see that shit. All these stags that he has. And so, what did he say? The military slang of snowflake, and then he blocks me. He calls me a snowflake and blocks me. Let me give you the only time snowflake has been used, probably. Oh. But snowflakes like you. Okay, so there's multiple servers, so I don't know what's happening outside the circle of interest of this card game. I thought global warming would mean less snowflakes. Unfortunately not. But everyone is insulting you the same fucking way. It's like, you're too young, you're too sensitive. All these things that just don't apply to me, so it's like, who are you talking to, bro? What is happening? How do I redirect your stupid shit because it doesn't apply to me? How do I do that? How do I send this message to someone else? It's probably a copy-paste thing, basically. Or because it's hypocritical, eventually you just send it back to the same person and call him a snowflake for blocking you and all that stuff. It's like, it's so satisfying as well. Alright. I am satisfied to let you let normies know how hypocritical they often are. And again, to repeat my point, you can send the same message they sent to you back in the past and be like, and see how they react, because that would be fucking hilarious if they remember it's not as funny, but if they actually think that that's your original comment, I mean, holy crappies, dude. The flippity flop, man. The flippity flop. It's, you know, seeking pleasure is almost one of those things. It's like, well, when you play on a chessboard and it's like, well, and the other person just invents a rule where you just like, they just take your queen with something somehow. You know, it's like, whoa, you invented a rule. How hypocritical of you. I can do the same thing the next time we play chess on the new board. I'll just do the same thing to you because we play new rules. I like your rules very much. I also feel disrespected all of a sudden, and the chess got disrespected. Just everything got destroyed in front of my eyes. But I'm gonna give the same thing to you, just so you remember, if the person gets actually attached to chess and it's not just an addiction that lasts for a certain amount of time and they just move on, if they actually come back, it's very nice to bring back those hypocritical moments. I mean, it's quite a fascinating thing, isn't it? So, if someone invents a rule where they take your queen, just do the same thing later. Later, alligator. You take my thingy, I take your thingy later. And later is going to be much more valuable, actually. Very likely. Hopefully, I don't wait for too long. So. It is so fucking... This video is so good and so the most satisfying video of all time. It's probably in the title. And it's... Holy crap, man. Welcome to hour number 2. I wish I could do the fuss thing, so I'll try to squeeze in but I don't know what to type on the YouTubes to actually get what I want. Because I want other people to speak as well, so you guys get the idea that I'm not just completely disconnected from just the things that I talk about are very, very real. Alright? I saw a ghost. Well, show me a ghost. Okay. And you got him. But you have to know the exact name of the ghost, as you can tell. An exact thing to put in the search command line. So search is probably gonna be called enter command soon enough. I'm a little bit ahead of my time, as always, because it's so much more. Like search terms are so much more than just searching for something. You can summon a channel. You can find a lot of things, but then you have to interact with them. And you can interact beforehand, you know. You can just teleport yourself to a very, very specific thing. Not even a specific video. Very, very specific thing that you're looking for. But still, it is quite interesting how search is a command line. But I cannot call this a search. Alright? Because it's kind of like the opposite. It's like if I type in something, a video is summoned but is not found or anything. It's just something is summoned, which is so cute, right? It's a completely different way of thinking. And I think it's more a correct way of thinking because it's not like you're gonna find exactly what you're looking for. You're gonna be searching for it potentially in different realms of things. But here, you have to be almost like too specific because you're gonna get only one thing pop up. But that's cool. That is cool. But sometimes you're not searching, you're just trying to access something. So that would be summoning too. So you guys don't see the word search, but it's like so fascinating to me. Also, this bug still exists. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't even load the second person, which is myself. There's no other person, but like, what happened here, bro? Brokey. What a bunch of brokies, man. Look at those brokies. There's so many satisfying things that I want to share the connection with people so bad. But I recognize I'm so ahead of my time. The only people I will share connection is just like very powerful, influential, like beyond your wildest dreams, which is probably exactly the wildest dreams that you never had. I mean, it's crazy, bro. I have to hurry up though, because, you know, I'm all alone. I'm my own army, and if I don't do things properly in max speed, basically just move at max speed, I'm never gonna get there. It is that sensitive, alright? If people catch up to me, then I'm a loser, alright? I'm not supposed to lose the marathon after I declare myself a winner. That's just not how it works. But if I slack back and not learn how to maximize myself in every step of the way, it is gonna be so tough, man. There's so many more things I have to improve about my life, but you know, still it's a slow progress where it often is the slow progress that wins for a simple principle, you know. Slow progress wins over fast because you need to make sure not to collapse. You need to make sure that things that you have improved are not just rotting away and deteriorating and detaching and exploding and out of your control. Like, there's a lot of things to take care of for me, and I still have to improve beyond that, and it's like headache upon headache. When is it gonna stop? When am I gonna get satisfied with the amount of comments and feedback I receive, amount of work that just automatically goes through? But nah, bro, nah. Still haven't stopped generating original ideas, apparently. Calling things bullshit. But it's so crazy, man. So crazy. It seeks satisfaction, so it seeks problem solving, it seeks, things... Well, we'll get to that. That way you're balanced enough to move forward in life. Because again, to satisfy yourself is not pleasure. Not pleasure. Oh, pleasure to meet you. I have 10,000 friends. Pleasure to meet a 10,000 first person, too. Pleasure is, again, something you know very well how to do something, and you have this, like, semi-superpower to be able to maybe approach people, make more friends, what is it? Well, do cool things with programming, let's put it that way. You have some kind of skill that you're holding on to, but you have no ability to actually apply the skill to fully appreciate it. That would be the balancing factor. That is the satisfaction for your skills that you have. So all of a sudden, once you learn satisfaction, every single skill that you own will be challenged. It's like, how can I use this skill? Your brain will start picking on things. Your brain will be alive again. Your brain will be alive. Wow. Trying to pick every skill you learn and apply it for profits. Wow. Fantastic. Man, it's so good, man. It's just in the name, it's just the most satisfying bullshit video ever, bro. Because it lifts off the unknown of the biggest thing in life. The biggest reason why people just don't really have goals and understanding how reality works, and people are stuck in this pleasure-seeking nonsense. You have to fucking transcend that, because we're in trouble otherwise. Alright, and the idea, if the ignorance just keeps on growing, and I'm very scared. But for now, I can just say again, I just look into the metrics, it's like, fine. But still, so far, I'm like not receiving that many comments, so I don't know how people feel. I don't even know how people feel. I can't just look into likes and dislikes and pretend like, oh, I can definitely squeeze likes and dislikes and understand how people feel. That's garbage to me. That shit is just a trippy feeling. You know, trippy feeling that makes no fucking sense anymore when dislikes are also hidden from people, so nothing makes any sense. Until people type in the fucking comment, just put in an emoji, and all of a sudden is the greatest feedback of all time. I have not received an emoji, I believe. I could look into the comments. If I received an emoji from someone, like, that is a miracle. We gotta worship that person. I received the comment that makes absolutely no sense. His purpose is to get you angry. So misspelled, so stupid. Hate is how criminals believe they can get away with what happens when they die. What are you talking about? I really don't understand your statement. Mint. And spelling is so messed up. What is this, man? Oh my god. I just can't understand this. Well, can you explain more? Please double check before posting. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. The ugliest creature of all time. Also, I got a new subscriber again. Is this video blowing up or something? Because it's still attracting crazy amount of stuff. 600 views. Again, it's the most watched video of all time. Well, not all time. The most watched video, straightforward. Again, I got the 3rd subscriber. I'm climbing faster than I ever was in terms of subscribers. Potentially because of my introduction of why people should subscribe. It's pretty good. It's pretty straightforward. So here's a test, a shit test. Where are the emojis at? Am I right? This doesn't. They know what they're doing. All right, the scammers know that emojis stand out, so they're smart enough to do that. But that doesn't really count because it's not a real person. You know, scam is its own category of people. So not real emojis. Never happened. Alright? Just never ever happened. Alright? So that's cool. Am I... Wait. No, those were the comments, technically, I believe. I don't fucked it up. So, I hope you guys understand. It would be very satisfying to get my first emoji, to get my first positive feedback. All these things, man, that people just can't comprehend even. That are very, very useful. You know, they just can't comprehend. To some people, it's just like, oh, just some girly stuff that girls post emojis because they're stupid. There's many reasons why this is not happening, but if you never try to communicate, you're garbage at it, and people don't want to feel like losers. But for fuck's sake, man, there's some things that. Some skills you have to start picking up because, alright, having a conversation is a very basic skill everyone needs. I'm screaming loud and clear. Okay, maybe sanity content is not something you can do because you're not an influencer or a YouTuber. This is where you have conversations. Making sanity content, you know, you trigger conversations in the chat. All right, because the sanity content is just you dump some feelings, but then people start, you know, figuring things out for you basically, and you have to like participate in that. You can't just let them gossip and rip you apart basically, which is what would happen if you just let your sanity. Be taken away from you, basically. Because you express yourself, but then other people start talking behind your back and basically creating conspiring against you. I mean, it's just simple as that. Because they will feel like they overpowering you in that sense. if they start talking about you. That's how powerful conversations are. It's kind of crazy. If you talk behind someone's back, they can still hear you, but will they stop you? That's the whole idea. It's like, you don't know who they're talking about, but unless you turn around and actually ask what is going on, or just turn around. Turning around is good enough, because then we can start reading your face if you're not comfortable with what's going on, and then it's like, well, we have to stop talking because we're not gonna be comfortable. You know, you have to have them judgment eyes on us. And yeah, the moment we get some emojis from you, the moment you turn around and give me some emojis, which is yeah. Basically, have you seen Emoji Movie is a meme now, and potentially a lot of bad movies that seem bad and controversial are actually the greatest movies of all time. We just don't know it yet. There's potential for that as well. It's some crazy shit. Because Emoji Movie might have been rushed because the concept is genius, bro. The concept of emojis expressing a lot of things all at once, and like where you need an emoji to express pretty much everything. This stuff is not fucking child's play, man. I'm sorry, bro. And I'm just very inspired to actually see the movie again and give you guys the breakdown. There's so many things to do. It's just so fucking... It would be so nice for people to do them for me. You know, it's another very, very sad thing to actually experience. Yeah, for me, life is like ridiculously exciting. So many things I could teach people. I just want to find a person I can trust. And it's a slow process. Trust is definitely a slow process. It's so ridiculously slow. It's crazy. But you have to like poke holes and speed things up, because like I don't have much time. All right, I gotta do shit, man. Super duper speed. And if I can speed something up, like that's my time machine right there. And honestly, again, a lot of things you thought are impossible are just one satisfying solution away. That's what it really feels like when you transition into this realm of impossible things. Everything's possible all of a sudden. It's like, oh, oopsie noodles. But you don't want the crazy things where I get 1 million subscribers in just a few months or whatever. It's nonsense. All right, it's unsustainable for me. And people feel that stuff. All right, people feel that I'm imperfect and I can't just provide to society well enough. And I don't have the skill that means to actually sustain 1 million subscribers. It's too powerful for me. I would start flexing around and doing backflips and none of the things that I actually want to do. I feel like everything is very, very natural, and that makes life even more exciting and just... But at the same time, very weird too, because like if it's natural for good things to happen, it's also natural for bad things to happen. In a way. Bad things don't want to happen, but it's more of a lesson that you'll need to learn. And when you have responsibilities, those are tough fucking lessons, man. Those are very tough lessons. Another just impossible and unbelievable lessons. Just like having dreams and shadow people. Fuck my life, bro. could be summed up with just one word: psychic abilities. Something that people want to deny in a way, but good luck with that. Try a little bit harder, because I cannot disprove it. I can probably disprove the existence of ghosts, but like psychic abilities is on another level. Trying to disprove that souls exist, that spirituality is not the most powerful word ever spat into a dictionary. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say to people like that. Alright, so let's keep going, because that's difficult all of a sudden. So balanced. Whatever makes sense. Satisfies your skill level, as we talked about. Very nice. And then I define what pleasure is. Pleasure is getting something valuable, but you don't need that thing. Like more money, while you're already rich. It's pleasure to earn more money each time. It's just, you must slowly understand that a lot of rich people have to be, like, shaken up. It's like, you have to use the money, though. For yourself, it has to be useful. Not to control the world, because that's gonna be punchy-facey very soon. Alright, once people figure shit out. Alright. You can't just accumulate one type of resource and call yourself powerful. I'm sorry, bro. This is not gonna work out in the end. I can do that. I can do that. I'm a shadow person. I can accumulate knowledge because it's a superpower. It's a resource that transforms into other resources very quickly. Alright? My knowledge just quickly is expendable into connection with other people. The psychic abilities, they're apparently a real I keep fucking getting those now. So every single move matters, and every single move is me exchanging knowledge into something else very, very quickly. Alright? So these are very special videos where I accumulate knowledge, but I'll be able to like attack certain types of YouTubers who don't know this stuff. And this is why it's going to be so very effective in damaging their reputation, because they need to learn. You know, and if they just ignore me, if they think I'm just a troll, they're gonna pay very tough consequences. I'm sorry, bro. They're gonna have to pay, and I'll definitely appear in their comment section. It's my favorite thing to do. Alright. So, I accumulate knowledge, but I spend a lot of it. And I am encouraged to attack influencers. Basically, very powerful people who think they're on top of the world, they have everything figured out. But your time is ticking, and if you do not acknowledge your flaws, I will do it for you. And it might not be pleasant, but you better respect me for it. Alright, because it might just gonna get so much worse if you don't. If all of a sudden, we just reveal you have been a scammer the whole time. Isn't that fucking amazing? Alright. What if we reveal the most popular kids are just scammers? Wouldn't that be crazy? Now, obviously, I'm in the blacklist of every single person that's popular, because everyone's threatened. But I'm a fucking shadow person. I'm on blacklists just for breathing. Alright? I have no rights to breathe. It's illegal for me. But I do it anyways, because I like illegal things. But no, it's so dumb. illegality is not morality, so it doesn't stop me from doing things that I have to do. You know, I have to avoid getting in trouble, obviously. But, I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, it is a question, right? Like, no, but I just simply have to be moral and get out of trouble. That means I'm extra moral because I'm risk-free, alright? I avoid risks. I should probably place it here because we said the magical word. We probably need to highlight magical words on every single tale. We still have to improve things. It's so fucking fun. Alright, so, shadow people have to avoid risks and remain moral. So we do have to be illegal, but we're not supposed to, like... Well, it's a normal thing to do something illegal at some point in your life. You just can't brag about it, you know? You just can't really talk about it. That's the whole fucking point. And, if someone tries to extract and interrogate you, you have the right not to remain silent to obliterate that person. I don't care who that person is. They're not supposed to live a happy life anymore. You know, because they're putting too much pressure on something that is not supposed to matter. Unless it's obvious. You know. If, wrongdoing is not obvious, let the F go. It's probably a principle that I've never really put together, so, we gotta repeat it. Repeat it, boys. Repetition. If you never caught someone doing something illegal, it never happened. You gotta catch them first, you gotta have evidence that actually makes sense. Alright? It's just that simple. That's the whole fucking principle of justice system. You can get away if you leave no trace behind. If you're just a ghost. And it's a scary thing because you realize, and you realize eventually in life, like anything can happen. Even if you're technically completely safe from normal people, there's also suicidal maniacs who are willing to do anything just for extreme forms of experience that have never been done before, because they just lost all sense of reality and they turned into monsters. So anything is possible when it comes to risks, you know, like, oh oops. Even something like an oopsie could happen where you just get bumped by a car by accident, but because someone saw that you're basically stand out a little bit, and it just bumped you with a car. And it's really difficult to recover from stuff like that. For them, maybe it's just a fine, maybe 5 years in prison. Not a big deal in a way. But they will feel pleasure for ruining your life or something. But that's a very, very extreme cases. I don't hear about them too often. Anyways, we have to spend the rest of the time doing the fuss, boys. Can I summon a special, not the most satisfying video we can actually find that's short and straight to the point? Normally, like, TikTok's a very satisfying So how would I find it on YouTube specifically? That is quite a question. Oh boy. I do acknowledge that the most satisfying time is to react to a video that just triggers you every step of the way. And I'm actually gonna do that very soon with Based Zeus. I'm gonna come back to this guy. Based Zeus is Giga Chad's ultimatum, man. They always just act like the most masculine people on the planet, but the most masculine thing right now to do is to have the basic skill of actually having a conversation. Pretty cool. If you can only have conversation with women that you approach on the street, I mean, that's kind of a low tier crappies, and obviously then it leads to sex, and then it leads to nowhere and nothing, because Based Zeus never introduced a woman. Well, he kind of did, actually. It's kind of cute. A woman, man. And now I want to follow her on Instagram is what I want. I still remember her face. It's so significant that a woman got introduced. Technically, women get interviewed as well, but they don't stand out as much as getting featured on the fucking channel. So let's bring that video up. If we're so triggered by this thing, let Based Zeus just give us the scoopies.
Not as good as Thief.
My new subscriber. Gaming around his time. Oh, fuck that shit. I look at games as like, how is it satisfying? I don't see it. At most games. Because I mastered card games, it's completely different for me. It's a different experience entirely. Now it probably will take a lot of scrolling or women. What? He always says women. I don't know if I can find the video though easily enough. I can only get triggered by a face. But that's about it, bro. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's so cool.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Benjamin, and welcome back to Based Zeus. Help us decide who's attractive, who's not, and rate them on a scale from 1 to 10, and see if your favorite YouTuber is up to Beautiful Bella's standards. So,
yeah, it's the American way of being attractive. It is nice. Alright. It is definitely the value on the internet. But if you're just attractive, I'm sorry, bro. Get in line. Because there's plenty of people like that. Alright, you have to have values. They're not absolute garbage. Alright? Often enough, it's a kind of a meme in the nerd community in a way. A very, very beautiful girl approaches you and you're like, and she's like, but I'm actually just silver ranking in League of Legends or some bullshit like that. And it's like, you're a 3 now. You were you were like 9 and now you're a 3. Get the hell out of here. You insulted. But there's some truth to it if it wasn't the gamer moment, obviously. I need values beyond you looking attractive, because attractiveness is just like a value that you display for everyone. Everyone sees that. But what makes you valuable is the question, right? So, again, this is going to be the next video. I will review Based Zeus, and we will talk much more in depth into this. but it's so satisfying to see attractive people, but you know they're just absolute garbage inside. Despite even having all the money that they need to survive, all these resources, but you would probably poke a hole and it's just like the bubble just bursts. Cause you can't just be rich and live in a shithole. Alright? America looks still pretty fucking cancerous, to be honest. And when it comes to values, the only value you have is criticizing Americans for their lifestyles. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Let's get right to it. I would definitely smash.
So immediately this girl is like, I like nerdier guys, but I want also a crazy partier, and it's like the women's standards are obviously absolute fucking cancer. It's just like, how do you survive? Oh, you're an Instagram model. Please, we have to eradicate this kind of bullshit behavior where we're just simping for fucking models. But it's understandable, alright? It's just, I don't like people who are full of hopes, because hopes is absolute nonsense. Also, we didn't fucking start this properly. What the hell am I doing with my life? The fuss. Next video. More on next. For the first time ever as well.
Viewer, I look at that.
How do you survive?
I sent a girl a
There's not even that many posts, but oh, we get to see the post again. 100 posts. How does this make sense? How can you call yourself Instagram model with 100 posts? What world do we live in? What is happening? How many people they killed for money? You can't do this shit, bro. Wait, she reads DMs. She probably a prostitute, alright? Instagram model. We know from Jake Paul's experience. That's what the next prostitute thing is. I mean, congratulations. Also, it's illegal, so let's take him down. Down with the. But her face is so pretty, though, and memorable. So I can't be too mad, can I? Yes, I can. 100 posts is worthless.
You go to the gym.
To me, it's like probably most women would be attracted to just basic people with basic skills. It's just women themselves don't have basic skills either, and it's like, it's just such cringe, man. Cringe fiesta. No one actually understands what they want, and now our procreation is at all times low, and it keeps probably plummeting down and down. And keep being attractive, I'm sure something will happen at some point besides sex, right? Like, once you got that figured out, maybe we can start fucking moving on with that transition thing. I needed to drop my DM because I gotta do that shit more often. Can you see that? Let me describe it for you. I farted, and you were in my way, so that's that. Not a pickup line, just a heads up to cover your nose. Because there's gonna be a lot of cringe if you actually explore who I am as a person in comparison to the well, but who knows, right? Who knows? Because she gives off some cool vibes, girly vibes, and girly vibes are kind of accepting and loving whatever it is, and they don't really want to be dominated by bad guys, but they might get desperate, and it's the only option that they have. Everything's understandable, you know. Another crazy thing. I don't even want to say this, but they're having a baby. The Marcia thing. But she's still attractive. But then psychic abilities can happen, and guess what? The weirdest thing. Let the fuss be the last tale ever. And I should have been recording all the thoughts about fucking attractive people or whatever. But that's fucking lame. This is just a tier above normal pleasure seeking is extreme pleasure seeking, but it just creates more problems in the end. Alright? Because you have never really spent time to learn basic skills, which is terrifying. At least these people are like kind of semi-social, and they have to be, and these are technically basic skills, but you have to be semi-social on Instagram. In the DMs, you have to be able to open the DMs instead of leaving the package hanging, because you don't know really what's inside there. You gotta get the scoop, man. It's so fucking simple. So, these are very basic skills. Yeah. Old school people, very attractive, but very also, very desperate for attention online, because they don't actually know what else to get from the internet world, right? So that's kind of fascinating. People are extra attractive because that's the only thing they can offer to the internet. That's the only thing they understand the offer. It's the only viral thing to be attractive, to present yourself as this unobtainable goal, basically. With 100 posts, it's pretty fucking easy, I would say that. But here comes the voodoo stuff. Father is not a person who plants the seed, but who grows the child. Clearly, that's whoever earns the maximum respect of the child. So, I think it's a smash. Alright, that baby is a smash. We steal. I don't know if I respect PewDiePie at this point, because his content is cringe. But he is in my council, so I can't say these things right now. So we have to eliminate PewDiePie somehow. It's gonna be tough. Number 19. Oh my god. Has his balls deep up in my throat. I mean, so far I can't say these, but again, yeah, that's the idea. And technically, well, pedophiles know that too, I guess, and they can steal the child too in a very physical sense. And it still kind of makes some sense, because some people can get away with that, unfortunately. Some kids are being grown just to be obliterated in that sense, traumatized, a whole nother level. But I can't really, relate to that until they grow up and they start solving problems. Alright, then I can help them out. So, most children, until they start struggling, you can't really interact with children. This is the reason why, up until 18 years of age, people are kind of just untouchable, especially sexually. Alright, because sex is kind of a trade, kind of a connection. You're not supposed to do that. But the moment they're 18, that's a steal. All of a sudden, it's a steal. Alright. We still don't know what the gender is, but I'm always prepared for the boys. Alright. I'm always for them boys. And yes, it's the most predator thing I could have ever done, but Marcia is so attractive that I would rather see Marcia make YouTube videos, and not PewDiePie, and I probably would be so much more satisfied. If we could just switch them places, that would be, very, very good, I think. but I cannot do that. And, because I'm upset, I can do one thing, though. And, eventually, it is actually possible to rewind time and turn PewDiePie into a puddle of cringe. So, I'll give Marcia 1 heart and 1 less heart for PewDiePie. That's what happens. Now you have to take care of her. It's all according to plan. Master plan. All girls are mine. All golden girls are mine. Me steal everything. Could it be true that, well, everyone you're connected is kind of yours to some extent. It's just you can't possibly hold it. Especially, new people can come into your life and screw everything over, so I have to be ready for that shit, and all the dreams could be twisted in so many ways. It's so weird. So this is just a predatory thing to trigger a bunch of people, but good luck. Stop staring at the moon, though. Psychic shit, bro. Is it? Smash. Thank God.
We might have to fix this little, what is it called, a goatee?
The soul pack.
Fix? Yeah, you might want to fix the fact that you were not slapped in the face. Because you don't want to know what happens next. What is the big deal, bro? There could be like half of his skin missing, bro. I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna fix it, unfortunately. Alright?
I might have to talk to him about...
See, the biggest problem was like... So, you kind of attracted, but then you still want to make the person even more attractive, but... Like, what's the point? So you're not attracted enough? You can fix things and make it more attractive, so make it... potentially, it is a satisfying thing to fix things, of course. But, like, if there's no problem, there's nothing to fix, as I'm saying. So, once you're attracted to someone, once you say, oh, pass, move on to the next level. Hey, Mr. Beast, she said yes. It's time to smash. I mean, for some reason I thought pass was the positive thing. And it probably still is. I don't know, bro. It shouldn't be called smash or pass, man. It should be called smash or dodge, and honestly, the vibes matter in this case. Alright? If you say dodge, it's a completely different vibe. It's like you trying to avoid someone. Not just pass, not just let them, like, be. Like, you literally just wanna back off and not let them have anything. And then you realize, there's probably the middle ground, but you have to make that special decision. If someone is approaching you, what do? Do you let it slide? Technically, pass could be in the middle, and the third one could be dodge or something. So even that one is not very satisfying. It's satisfying to find flaws, fix them, and get God damn it, bro. I just need an alternative word for royalties. That's so fucking weird. I use it so often, it's so fucking annoying to lose words like that. I don't know. To get value, over time. Stonks. I don't know. Honestly, I could say bond. To get bonds, I guess. That's cool. For doing so. Again, why did I miss this word? It's like people are respected because they did the thing, because they're the creators. They hold the authority, but what is that word, man? How did it fucking disappeared, man? Fucking Mandela effect in action. It's so annoying, but bonds is much better word, so I guess something just got punched out of the way. Get bonds, because I use bond as a command to bond people, and they get tremendous amount of value for doing so, for bonding, so that's very important word. Alright, so now, as we move on, we have to wrap it up. So let's see how I feel about the tails again. See what happens. Yeah, improve your life by seeking satisfaction instead of pleasure. Very simple. Education. Even Mr. Beast approves education is much better. This is what makes him successful. And this the actual success formula is education. Yes, you might not become the most popular, the best of the best. It is quite a big choice to make of who you want to be in life. But you will, because you're going to be above average and life keeps on changing and generations keeps on rotating, if you're going to be the best within your generation in something, it's still going to be a ridiculous achievement. You're going to still feel like on top of the world. It's crazy. Collection of feelings, but simply it's something people can understand. It doesn't feel like anything, this whole thing. But yeah, I would rather say relate to. Because that's another way to say understand, but it's more of a intimate word. Because you understand, like, over time, it sinks in and changes your life potentially. Most people just want to forget the bad and only experience the good, which is completely pointless. I'll just reiterate and end the video there. Again, there's plenty of traumatic experiences, but they will come back. The moment you start satisfying yourself, you will need resources like that. You'll need every single experience, every single feeling you can get. So you'll go into very dark places, seek for very deep, resources that you have collected over your life. And it's a very traumatizing experience still, going to darkness, but eventually you'll get used to it. And that's probably how sex feels like too, essentially. When you realize the meaning of things. Well, sex. Well, you have to learn how to trade, right? So, potentially sex is fine, but the moment you start talking and interacting with a person and realizing how deep it can go, all these interactions, but it's still, you gotta care about meaning. There's the breakthrough point, there's nothing in specific where you recognize the value of trading, and then everything is valuable again. All those things you have forgotten or tried to forget, they keep resurfacing. All the crushes I had in high school, they just resurfaced, and now they're a team, basically. They just teamed up in my heart, and hopefully they're gonna do well in there, because it's quite a challenge for everyone who I bumped into to actually survive the real fight of not just being forgotten, but being outshadowed by everything else, outcompeted, and just become irrelevant. So you're not gonna be forgotten, but you're gonna be replaced almost, is what's gonna happen. And even if I remember you as like a reference to something, the reference is potentially gonna be more powerful than you at this point. Especially when most of the things that I do are just kind of imaginary anyways, despite there being psychic abilities. Unfortunately, those people have to try and approach me, and it's so simple. Just send a message of how you feel. A fantastic start. Introduce yourself. Oh, very difficult. I just bump into people with full force. I think I can allow myself because I posted videos and I don't have to introduce myself. But other people kind of have to. Alright? They kind of do. Anyways. And only experience the good. Experiencing good things is fine. It's just you must understand it's very, very, very temporary. If you don't establish an experience generator, like, that's the satisfying part. An experience generator is satisfying. Just chasing experience is actually ridiculously exhausting. And that's the conclusion. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I changed your lives. I should have. It changed my life just talking about it. Bye!